Okay, I'm going to talk here for just a few moments about target shooting out at the range, target shooting with the thoughts of possibly having to defend myself in a concealed carry situation, and the effectiveness of certain ammunition I like to use. I have on occasion been criticized for not liking 9mm or some other big bore uh, pistol ammunition, which supposedly has better penetration values, and because of that, people say better stopping power. People criticize me because I like my 38 short Colt. Matter of fact, I like a reproduction 1851 Colt Navy to carry. Fact is, I'm more comfortable with the Navy. The hand grips on that are, for me, perfect. I've never found another pistol yet that fits my hand so comfortably that I feel so confident in using. I've tried 9mm. I don't like the sizes of them. Most of them are too clumsy for my palm grip. And if you're not comfortable with your pistol, you will not shoot well. I've also handled a few other automatics. I like the 1911 Government, even though the grip is a little bit long for my likes on the hand grip. It's closer to comfortable to me than what any of the 9mm currently are out there. Some of the modern 38 specials that are coming out, again, there's a lot of them I don't like. No, the Rock Island Model 209, I did get to handle one of those recently. I'm not sure whether that was a 209 or a 206. I keep getting the model numbers confused a little bit. Little 38 caliber, snub-nosed. YouTube's featured a video on it. I believe it's the Model 206. I misspoke. But the thing of it is, that one has a hand grip, which pretty much, even though it's relatively small, feels good in my grip. I feel comfortable with it. I don't think I'm going to slip and drop it accidentally. It will be a good piece to carry if I can obtain one. In the meantime, I'll continue to pack my Navy Colt, thank you. And I do carry it in the traditional 36-38 caliber. Oh, there's some confusion over this, but actually the way they measured bullets changed when they started going from cap and ball pistols to brass cartridges. Back in the old days of cap and ball, they tend to measure the outside edge of the rifling grooves, where the ball rolled down the barrel. And when they went to modern brass cartridges, because the cartridges would sometimes expand and fill in the rifling grooves, they would measure to the inside or the bottom of the rifling lands rather than the top or the outside. So that's where the difference between 36 and 38 comes into play. Basically, the 1851 Colt Navy, when converted to modern brass cartridges using a Crisp converter or some other means, will measure in at a 38 caliber pistol. So, gives me 3 types of ammunition I can use if I get the proper Crisp converter. They make one for 38 special. If you get that converter and cylinder and add it to your 51 Navy, then you can use 38 short Colt, 38 long Colt, or 38 special. I like the 38 short Colts because they're a lighter weight cartridge. They have less recoil even if you upgrade the powder charges, which some people have been doing recently. And if you use a lighter load in the bullet size, you get more speed. Supposedly more speed equals more penetration, and it's a quiet round. Okay, what's not to like with that? Well, some people have noted that my 38 can't equal to a 9mm in penetrating power. Well, yes it can if you aim for the right spot. This is where your target selection comes into play. A lot of people go complaining that a 38 short Colt will bounce off the bones. Well, let's take a look at that for a moment. Where are the bones located on a human-sized target if you're shooting in a self-defense situation? The rib cage. If you're aiming center of mass, you have, as we can see right here, I don't know, my cursor will get on this, you have the sternum, center of mass. which is actually a cartilage, not an actual bone. As a cartilage, it's got a little more flex, a little more give, which means it acts like a spring, a good old flat leaf spring, to kind of push back on the bullet. If the bullet manages to drill its way through that to try to get to the internal organs, it's slowed considerably. You don't have as much penetration, and then you don't get as much damage, okay? There's your whole argument on that right there. Now, this particular rib cage will be protected before you even get to it by clothing. And some clothing that you can buy at secondhand surplus shops is Vietnam era pattern 1965 flak jackets over here on the right. This flak jacket, size-wise, approximates the size of a modern ballistic vest, which some people can get a hold of through police surplus stores or the black market. They will wear this underneath their t-shirt or shirt or jacket or whatever. And this gives even more resistance to the bullet before it even gets to the rib cage. So, you've got this guy out here wearing this protective clothing. Let's say he's got a denim jacket or a hoodie over it so you don't see it. You aim center of mass, your bullet hits the flak jacket, 90% of its velocity is going to be lost right there. I don't care if you're using a 45 government, a 9mm, or a 38 short Colt. If the guy is wearing a protective piece of body armor, it's going to be slowed, if not stopped. All right? If you manage to get through the flak jacket or ballistic vest that he's wearing, then you have the sternum, the rib cage, and everything else to fight through, diminishing even more of your bullet's hitting power. This is why I believe that old saw of aim center of mass is a fallacy. Yes, it gives you a better percentage chance to hit. Yes, it is a bigger target. Yes, it is easier to hit. However, it is also the most protected portion of the human body, and why would you want to go and hit the one area of the human body that will be the most protected? It's just like tanks fighting tanks. You don't fight a tank head on. The front of the tank is where the most armor is located. You want to find a weak spot, so you work your way around to the sides or to the rear. In the case of a human person who's trying to assault you, who is trying to pull a knife or a gun on you, there are two really easy places to hit from the front. The first is up here at the neck, the throat area. The human neck, human throat, generally cannot be protected from the front by any piece of body armor. The other way of guaranteeing a hit, and of making sure you can get a better hit, which is slightly more in tune with the whole center of mass concept, is to use a 6 o'clock hold. On a 6 o'clock hold, you initially line up your sights center of mass, but then you pull your barrel down a little bit. So let's say you would start out aiming, which would end up having you aiming right about here in the sternum. Again, you run into that problem. Possibly he's wearing a ballistic vest or protective armor, which would cause you to hit all kinds of obstructions trying to find a vital spot. This is why people have to use 8 and 10 rounds to try to stop one guy. They aim at the wrong spot. Instead of aiming center of mass, you use a 6 o'clock hold, which means you take our little arrow here and you pull it down. You pull your sights down, and basically you aim for the belt buckle, which would put it right about here. You aim low. If your bullet climbs a little bit, that's fine, because you're aiming towards the center portion of the body, and even if your bullet flies up a little bit, you still hit the center portion of the body. It's not really a trick shot. Again, you've got all this lovely mass area up here to work with. In a defensive situation, this actually gives you probably a better hit-miss probability than aiming for a heart shot, which most instructors tell you to go for. Now, the catch with this is, when you aim low, when you aim for the belt buckle, which on our mannequin over here would be right about here, at the white circle, you're actually getting a bullet in underneath the flak jacket. The edge of the flak jacket normally doesn't come down all the way down to the hips. It stops above the belt buckle, and that gives you your good weak spot point of aim on the front. You aim for the belt buckle, and even if your bullet flies up a little bit high, you still avoid the big mass of the flak jacket. And if you'll notice on our Blue Dude target here, you have number 4s, a couple of kidneys, which are in here. You have the intestines and the stomach, weak spots that are not protected by the sternum. The rib cage curls up at that point. The ends of the cartilage connecting the ribs to the sternum to give it the flexibility you need to breathe curls up, and you get this nice, neat triangular shape here, which is all exposed areas. Stomach shots are nasty. They can cause pain. They can cause suffering. Nail in the kidney. These are vital spots. You hit any of these, I guarantee you, a man that's been shooting at you, trying to shoot you, will stop shooting because he'll be in too much pain to do anything else. 6 o'clock hold. Another alternative to your target shooting to practice. Just I pass the idea.